This recipe today is simply titled Roast Chicken with Potatoes and Olives. My sister shared this recipe with me and I've had it at her place a few times, and I've also made it at home a few times. It is really quick and really easy and very tasty. Baked olives take on an entirely different flavour and texture. They're absolutely delicious, and this recipe made me fall in love with them baked. Now, if you don't have a spice grinder, you can use a mortar and pestle. But into a spice grinder, if you've got one, put 1 bay leaf and just tear it up, and some fennel seeds. 1 teaspoon of fennel seeds. And then some red chilli flakes, just half a teaspoon of them. Now the recipe calls for fingerling potatoes, which are little potatoes like this. They're double the price of normal potatoes. This is 500 grams and they only cost me $4, so it was worth the splurge. If you can't get these, little baby chat potatoes are great, and these fingerling potatoes have very thin skin, so you can leave them on. I've just washed them. Now into the bowl with the potatoes, the recipe calls for half a cup of Kalamata olives and pitted, but I could only find them with pits, which doesn't matter. And I do a generous half a cup because I just love them in this recipe, and I might put a few more in. And then half of the seasoning mix, some salt to taste, and the olives are quite salty, and some black pepper to taste, and a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. And just mix that all around. I've got 4 nice chicken Maryland legs here, and these weigh in total about 1.4 kilos. And so now with the seasoning mix left, I just sprinkle them over the top of the chicken, and a couple of more tablespoons of olive oil. And then using your hands, rub that all over the chicken. And you can use like chicken thighs or chicken legs, any chicken pieces. I have misplaced my big roasting tin since we renovated. So today I'm going to use this pan, which can also go in the oven. And I'm going to place the chicken in the pan. And then the potatoes and the olives all around the chicken. Now the recipe says to cook it in a hot oven, a really hot oven, for half an hour, but I like to bake it at 180 degrees with a fan, which is 200 without a fan, for longer than that, until the chicken is cooked through and the potatoes are fork tender and it's nice and brown on top. And any spice or oil you've got left there, just rub it on top. I went a bit hard on the black pepper. And the last thing I like to do is get a couple of cloves or 1 huge clove of garlic with the skin on and just pop it in there. And when the dish is finished, then I'll squeeze that roasted garlic all over it. And now I'm just going to pop it in the oven. I'll check it after 45 minutes and see how it's going. And actually there is one thing you need to chop, and that's just some fresh parsley to sprinkle over the top when it's done. And as much or as little parsley as you please. So this has been in the oven for half an hour, and all I do now is baste it. And I'm going to pop it back in the oven now to brown up, and I'm going to increase the heat to 200 with a fan, so it really browns up lovely. And before you get it out, much like a gremolata for an osso buco, finely grate some lemon zest, about a good teaspoon. The recipe says a half a cup of parsley, so that's just lemon and parsley. Now this has been in the oven for 50 minutes. and it's lovely and golden brown. I'm just going to check a piece of chicken to make sure it's cooked, and that's cooked beautiful. And with this garlic clove, I'm just going to squeeze it into the sauce and just mush it up into the juice, and then baste that all over the chicken. Now take your lemon and parsley and put that over the dish. And once that lemon hits that chicken, you can smell it. But it looks lovely. And if you do like chili flakes, which I don't mind a few, they're quite spicy, I just sprinkle a few over the top. Beautiful. And what I do like to do is spoon over some of this liquid that's left in the pan. And there's quite a lot of liquid left, and that just makes it so succulent. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really hope you enjoy this recipe. It's very simple, but really tasty. And hopefully I'll see you again soon.